In this video, I'm going to explain what you need to get started crocheting, and it's really very simple. Basically, you just need some yarn and you need a crochet hook. But I want to tell you a little bit about the different kinds of yarn that are available and also a little bit about crochet hooks as well. Now, yarn comes in different sizes or weights, all the way from a very thin yarn, which we have down here on this end, to a medium weight yarn. And this is a chenille yarn. It's kind of fuzzy. And this is a very heavy weight or a bulky yarn. This depends on your project, and usually in your instructions it will tell you what kind of yarn to get. Now, as you look at these crochet hooks, you can see that they're different sizes, all the way from this very thin, small hook to more of a medium weight hook, getting bigger, getting bigger. And these are just a few of the hook sizes that are available. Typically, your hook size is going to correspond somewhat to the size of the yarn. So as you see with a finer yarn, you're going to have a smaller hook typically. Whereas with a bulky yarn, you're going to have a bigger hook typically. That's not always the case, but often it is. So you may be wondering, well, what should I get if I'm just starting out? Well, I would recommend that you get a medium weight worsted yarn, something similar to this. This yarn I actually even got just at the Dollar Tree. It's inexpensive. It's acrylic, so there are different fibers, but acrylic is fine to start out with, especially when you're not quite ready maybe to spend a ton of money. And you can see on this yarn, it tells the weight. It says medium. It tells the fiber content, which is 100% acrylic. And here it's going to tell you what size hook it recommends to be used with this particular yarn. This was knitting needles, and this was a hook. So I would recommend, like I said, that you get a nice medium weight acrylic yarn. You can see about the size it is. I recommend that you start out with a yarn that's like this, just a regular worsted texture, not a fuzzy yarn, because fuzzy yarn can be hard to use at the very beginning. It can be hard to see your stitches. So where can you get yarn? All over. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Walmart. You can get it at craft stores such as Michael's, specialty shops, and like I said, even at the Dollar Tree. This yarn I got at the Dollar Tree. So lots of places to get yarn. And depending on the fiber content and the quality of the yarn, the price is going to vary quite a bit. But this is a very expensive yarn, a good way to get started. And there are lots and lots of options on Amazon as well. So let's talk about opening up your yarn. We're going to take the label off here. And then what you want to do is you want to find the end. Now, typically there's two ways. So I've got an end here, and this end is going around and around the yarn. Do you see it kind of unwinding? And then usually you can also pull yarn from the inside as well. And it really is up to you which way you like. There's a lot of different ideas out there. So one thing that can be hard is the yarn coming out. It can be hard to find it, to pull it out, whereas the yarn that's wrapping around can be easier to find the end. Another thing to know is that when you take the yarn from the end like this, as you pull your yarn, the yarn will kind of jump a little bit. So see? Whereas if you pull it from the inside, the yarn will hold still. So let's see if we can find the inside. Now, like I said, here's the problem. Oh, we found it without too much trouble. Here's the end. Right here. So let me just show you really quickly. When you pull from the inside like this, see, your yarn doesn't jump around. So totally up to you which way you like. Just a matter of personal preference, and either way works. But the first thing you want to do is, like I said, you want to find the end of your yarn. And you're going to go from there. You're also going to decide what size crochet hook to use. Most hooks will tell you a millimeter size. So this is 6.5 millimeters, and often a letter size as well. But not always the letter, but always the millimeter size. And that corresponds to the size of the hook right here. So this is what you need to get started. You need yarn and you need a hook. And I recommend that you start with a medium weight worsted. Doesn't matter the fiber content, but acrylic is usually pretty inexpensive. And then I recommend that you start with a mid-weight hook. Okay, you see the size there. Really small can be hard to work with, and really big can also be hard to work with. So somewhere in the middle, I would say probably like a 5.0 to maybe this 6.5 size hook. And you get your yarn and get your hook, and then you are ready to start doing the first crochet skill, which is how to make a simple chain.